Hey love, I'm Gina, a fitness, nutrition, and self-love coach, helping high-achieving women heal their relationship with food and their bodies so they can finally feel free, strong, and confident in their own skin. If you've ever felt stuck in the cycle of restriction, binging, and body shame, trust me, you are not alone. On this podcast, we're calling out diet culture BS, building your dream body without the obsession, and getting real about what it actually means to love yourself in a world that constantly tells you not to. I've been there. Anorexia, binge eating, body hate, you name it, I've lived it. And now I help women just like you find food freedom, feel sexy in their skin, and take their damn power back. So get ready, because the Fit Without Obsession podcast starts now. Let me just say it. You can be eating kale, salmon, quinoa, the whole rainbow, and still feel like shit in your body if you're eating it with guilt, anxiety, or fear. I used to believe if I just got the food right, my problems would finally disappear. If I controlled every gram, every macro, every bite, I'd feel safe, but I didn't. Because I wasn't just hungry for nutrition, I was hungry for freedom, for peace, for permission to stop obsessing. This isn't about what's on your plate. It's actually about how you approach it. And the crazy part, your body literally reacts differently depending on your mindset when you are putting food into your system. The same meal can either heal you or hurt you depending on what you believe about it, how fast you actually eat it, and how safe you feel while you're eating it. And I want to go into the real cost of eating in stress, fear, or shame, because you might think that it's not that big of a deal. You continue to push off mindful eating practice. You continue to think that really just what you are eating is like all that matters and like you just need to stick to that. But when you're in a stress state, like guilt eating or rushing, multitasking, or spiraling about maybe messing up your day, your body literally shuts down digestion. You could be eating grilled chicken and broccoli and still feel bloated and foggy and out of control. And here's what's actually happening in your body when you're eating that way. So stress activates your sympathetic nervous system, which is kind of like your fight or flight. I'm sure you've heard of that before. We've talked about that, right? So when we're in this state, the blood flow moves away from digestion and you produce less saliva, less stomach acid, and digestive enzymes. And this can lead to, the stuff that we actually are fearful of and don't want, and why you think you're clean eating. It can lead to bloating. It can lead to a slower metabolism, poor nutrient absorption, also increased cravings later because your body thinks it didn't get enough. So even if you physically did put enough food in your body, because of the way you were mentally eating that food, your body is going to process that completely different. So if you've ever eaten a super healthy meal and still felt gross, still felt like you couldn't stop eating after, or still felt guilty as fuck, it's not because you failed, it's because your nervous system didn't feel safe at the time. And I want to talk about what eating in a calm, present, and safe state actually does for you. This is the how you eat shift that can change everything. When your body feels safe, it digests better. It absorbs nutrients better. It metabolizes food better. And most importantly, it doesn't freak out about the food you just gave it. Here's what eating in a regulated system does. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest mode, which then in turn increases your saliva production, which is the first step in digestion. Stomach acid and enzymes are also increased during this time, and that's going to help you break down and absorb the food you're actually eating. And your fullness signals actually increase during this time as well. So you actually feel satisfied and you don't need to keep picking at food later. Basically, eating calmly turns your body into a nutrient-absorbing, hunger-honoring, peace-making machine. You don't need a new meal plan. You actually need to breathe before you start and take a bite. The most underrated diet hack out there is actually slowing down, honestly. And I want to kind of go into what I used to eat like, and at the time, why I felt so out of control around food. I ate everything with tension in the past when I was struggling with my relationship with food, and even the healthy stuff, I would eat egg whites and spinach with a pit in my stomach because I was already panicking about my next meal. Sometimes I'd finish a whole meal and have no idea what it tasted like. I was way too busy calculating or judging or trying to convince myself I wasn't hungry anymore. I remember I would pre-log my food and then only eat what I should and not what I actually wanted. I would end up finishing meals with tightness in my chest and not fullness in my stomach. And at the time I wasn't nourished. I was like performing like this like on paper nutrition, but I really felt like I was never satisfied internally. And it didn't matter how clean I ate, my body still felt chaotic because the way I was eating was soaked in stress. So I didn't change what I was eating to really get to a good place with my body and helping it feel safe. I actually just changed who I was being while I ate. So what this rewiring looked like and what changed is I stopped trying to earn my food. I ended up stopping saving up calories for dinner like I was prepping for some like battle or like I was terrified that I was going to overeat. And I stopped over exercising so I could deserve a cookie. I just ate because I'm allowed to eat, no terms, no conditions. Another thing that I did during this rewiring is I started making meals a moment and not like some sort of transaction. So even when I was busy, I would put my phone away, I would take 2 slow breaths. And this felt like weird at first, and it might feel awkward for you a little bit at first too, to like literally sit and pause. Like I know so much of us don't know how to do that. But honestly, for me, like it helps show me that my food mattered. Like it was actually worth my time to indulge in and enjoy and savor the flavors. I also ended up rewiring my guilt thoughts in real time. So instead of spiraling and like letting myself go down this like guilt trip and like shame myself and like have all of these negative thoughts, I would stop myself whenever I felt that urge coming on and I would say, I'm safe and I'm nourishing myself. My body knows what to do with this. Like your body literally, if you trust it, knows what to do with the food that you're giving it. And I repeated that like a mantra until my nervous system finally started to believe me. Because again, at first, I didn't believe that. But it's that repetition. It's that willingness to put trust in those words. It's going to help you get there. And I also, during this time period, like of transitioning, I let food feel good. Food used to feel like some sort of test I had to pass. And, you know, even now, like it feels like an experience I get to enjoy. And one that I get to trust myself to come back from. For you, if you're still struggling right now with feeling disconnected from your body, I'm going to start to go into the how of how you're going to start actually shifting this. And you can even try these shifts this week. These are literally going to be 5 tangible shifts that you can try right now. And the first one, I already kind of referenced it, but you know, it seems so simple, but it goes such a long way, is to breathe before you eat. Literally just take 1 deep breath before you dig in. You don't need to do like a whole routine. You don't need to like go do like yoga or like meditation. No, like just take 1 breath and you just need to tell your body in this moment, like, hey, we're safe right now. And really just take that moment of pause. Even that 10 seconds can kind of make or break the way that you're going to go into eating this meal. Another shift that I want you to make, and again, these are easy shifts. They should be easy, but there's a reason that we've been doing them for a long time, is I want you to stop multitasking meals. Because you're not a robot. You don't need to like scroll and answer emails and eat in the car to save time. Like you need to be with your food and it will change the way that it lands. And I know for me, as someone that like is type A, wants to be productive, wants to do all the things, that felt silly. Like I was like, well, why would I sit and eat this meal when I have 5 million other things to do? But it actually allowed me to feel nourished as I was eating, be present, and then stop having so many cravings and thoughts about food after, which then in turn actually boosted my productivity, right? Because I wasn't thinking about food or like calculating in my head every other second. The third shift that I want you to do to get into a better state when you're eating is let go of the silent negotiations. So we're not going to have any more like, I'll just eat this now and then I'll skip dessert later, or I'll make up for this in the gym. That's not having freedom. That's still some sort of fear, and you're just dressing it up as control. The 4th shift that I want you to start doing is eat for satisfaction, not just being full, not just like physical fullness. Are you actually satisfied when you're eating your meals? You're actually allowed to enjoy your meals. You might not think that right now, but I'm telling you, you are. And fullness isn't really the goal. Satisfaction is. So if it doesn't feel good, you're going to keep chasing more food. I don't care like how many calories you put in your body. If you're not actually like eating what you like and want, like you're going to always want more. That's why these extreme diets and like cutting out food groups and like doing all the like crazy stuff never works long term, because you're not happy. So like whenever you do go on like a nutrition venture, like you need to make sure that the food that you're putting on your plate like makes you happy. Like food is meant to be enjoyed. The fifth shift that I want you to start doing is start noticing the voice in your head and choose a new one. This is probably the hardest one, but again, this is a shift you can start this week, because you have to start somewhere. You can't continue to push this off and just say like, it is what it is. I just am negative. I can't work through my thoughts. Like it feels impossible. No, like the only way that you actually do get to a place where you can work through your thoughts is like starting small. So this week, every time you hear you shouldn't eat that, I want you to practice saying, I'm allowed to eat. I'm not doing anything wrong. And that one sentence can change your entire relationship with food over time. So again, it might not change like tomorrow, might not change your like thoughts immediately, but you have to continue to put this energy out there, or else you are never going to get to a healed place. What you eat does matter. I'm not here to pretend that it doesn't, but how you eat, that's really the part that's going to determine whether food healed you or haunts you. Because your body doesn't just digest macros, it digests your emotions, your energy, your beliefs about what you deserve. So if you've been doing everything right and you still feel off, it's time to stop fixing the food and start softening the fear. Again, like obviously what you're eating matters, but the reason that you're so stuck, even when you eat clean, even when you eat all of the right things and you feel like you're following the perfect diet, is because you are not eating in a calm state. So if you take anything from this podcast, again, like how can you take that 10 seconds before you eat each meal this week to actually calm your nervous system and set you up for success with food? Thank you so much for tuning into the Fit Without Obsession podcast. If this episode helped you heal, grow, or just feel a little less alone, go ahead and hit the follow button so that you never miss a moment of this journey. And if you loved it, share it on your stories and tag me at @thefitbean_. I seriously love seeing what resonates. Sharing this podcast helps more women step out of a session and into their power. And that ripple effect starts with you. And if you're ready for deeper support, check the show notes for ways that we can work together. Just remember, eat the pasta, wear the shorts, and love the hell out of your life. You deserve it always. Talk soon.